Hello students, welcome back to my Coil Pot Demo number 2. Starting on your coil pot, the second day you will want to slip and score your first coil ring onto the top of your pot. So roll out a nice thick coil. Remember, it shouldn't be any thinner than the end of your needle tool, those wooden ones that we use on the coil pots. Check out the size, trim it, slip and score. And you need to do this because the clay has probably gotten a little bit drier in the bag than the clay that you are adding onto it. So we want to make sure that we do a good job slipping and scoring so that it stays together. So you mix up your slip a little bit, dab it on, put the coil on, give it a push and a wiggle, and then you're going to sew it together by smoothing it, smushing and smoothing both inside and outside, and then you can smooth it out after you smush. Lots of smoothing involved. Now take out your template and check your pot to see if you're going the right way. Are you going out? Are you going in? Do you need to make some adjustments? And then you will make your next coil, and this one I want to go out on. So I'm going to need to make it slightly larger than the rim of my pot. So here I am rolling out my nice thick coil. Remember to use your whole hand, and if it gets a little flat, pinch it back into shape. So this coil has to be a bit larger and go out a little more. So I have to be careful when I trim it that it's just slightly larger. I don't have to slip and score this time, I just have to sew it on. Now we're going a little faster here. It took me a little more time to do this than it appears in the video. But just keep building up those coils, keep comparing it to your template to see if it's going in the right direction. Is it going out when it should? You know, keep making it wider if it needs to get wider by using larger rings of coils on each level, and then make sure to score and slip and smooth and sew it together. And then eventually you'll need to, because your template for your pot is supposed to go in at some point, eventually you'll need to start going in a bit. Here I'm still going out though. I'm looking at my template, tells me to keep going out. And I sew those coils on. And don't worry if your smoothing isn't totally perfect. Get it fairly smooth, both inside and out, but we can do some touching up later. All right, now I need to start making my pot get a little more narrow. So this coil has to be smaller than the rim. So make sure that you're making it a little smaller, and you can kind of see how it's not quite as big as the top of the pot. So it's starting to go in. I have to be very careful with my smoothing and smushing so I don't stretch it out and make it get larger. Some students have a problem with that, so make sure you're not stretching it. And then, you know, I like to start on the outside when I get to these to make sure I'm not stretching it out too much, and then really be careful when you do the inside. Make sure you support with your hand. So I have my hand on one side, my thumb is on the inside doing the smoothing down. And I'm just going to continue to build up with coils, comparing to my template and doing what my template tells me to do. So really important that you get it as nice as you can. And we can go back in and do a few little touch-ups later. So nice thick coils. I'm still going in at this point. And then I'm going to start going back out again, I think, after this one. So I was able to finish this in one sitting. You may not be able to finish it as quickly as I am, because I'm a little faster because I've done this before. Um, so you probably have to slip and score more than once. Remember, every day when you come in, fresh pot, slip and score, and then you can sew together your coils. Keep your clay moist every day by putting your working clay into one bag and your pot into a separate bag.